and, you know, they get drunk, but you don't get drunk when the police actions, you know, when you're in combat, that's no joke. And anyway, that's what happened. But well, the doctor told me, the last words he told me, he said, "You better follow up in medicine." I said, "Doc," I said, I won't. Why? I said, "Well, just what I told you. I'm not book smart. I am, you show me," and I got it.
Very visual, yeah.
And I got it. And I said, "You trained me well." And he thanks a lot. He thanked me, and I went home, and I enjoyed it. Yeah, afterwards I did. Yeah, afterwards I did. Yeah.
Now, were all your missions in Korea, were they pretty much all reconnaissance or?
Or to capture somebody.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Capture, look for positions. Yeah,
Gotcha.
yeah.
So that was the main.
Yeah. It's just, I called it cops and robbers with live ammunition. Well, you know, you really.
That's about right.
Yeah. That's, I'm a dumb farm boy. You know.
Well, you sure could patch some people up, though. I tell you.
I did. And I can't even tell you some operations that I did, you know, on weekends with black boys. You know, everything that I did was off the records, you know. Everything went well. Everything went well. Yeah.
It's a shame what you were saying. You know, everybody forgets. It kind of puts the
Yeah,
Korean War on the back burner.
Oh,
but,
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like you said. It was really just a whole policing type thing. You know,
Yeah. Police action. That's what they called it. But like I said, there were 59,000 men in Korea that were killed. That MLR, which is the main line of resistance, was the whole width of the peninsula. You know.
So, if you had to, what was the biggest thing you learned from your experience? Like, what in Korea specifically changed you before you went, and then now up to this day? Like, what would you credit? What did you say the relationships were like with the men, or the actions of saving them?
I was just, how I'd have to say, I growed up in
I
Korea.
bet you grew up real fast.
In Korea.
Yeah.
Do you know what I was always somebody else was better than me.
Mm-hmm.
And all of a sudden I said one day in Korea, I said, I'm just as good as anybody.
That's right.
That's right, I growed up.
War can do that to you.
Well, yeah, you're 20 and 21 and 22, you know.
Think you rule the world, yeah.
What do you know? I mean, you think you know, but what do you know? I mean, you don't know life, you don't know, you know. But I grew up there. I really grew up. And then I was blessed with a doctor that cared about me. Yeah. And he was just an MD. Here's an incident, and I'll tell you, you know, they changed company commanders. The Army did. And he lived in the same bunker that I lived in he was going to live there. Anyhow, with the field first and the field sergeant and me and the company commander, all in one bunker, you know. I built a 4-level went out and cut some logs and made them put a post up and put commo wire back and forth like this, and we had sleeping bags, and shucks, there was 4 of us right there in that one bunker, you know, in that wall. And so they changed company commanders. And so I was out this night after he came that day. He got there probably 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And that night, I was out checking my men. You know, I mean, they you know, my men. You hear me say they're my men. You know, but I'm responsible for them.
Yeah, that's right.
And I, you know, you got a headache? You got what do you need? What do you need? And so then I checked on the whole company, 250 men, and then I come back into the bunker, and here's this new company commander. He had in his skivvies. He had flip flops on his feet. Yeah. And I said, I came back, and he was in his skivvies. He had his shorts on and a t-shirt. And I said, sir, we don't do that here. He says, well, what do I do? I said, I said, you might loosen up the laces in your boots. That's about all.
Wear flip-flops.
That's about all. And he says, well, not me. I said, well, you're in charge. I said, I'm not having nothing to do with him, you know. He's the company commander. You know, the doctor back in the aid station is who I have to, you know, answer to. And so, pretty soon the field first sergeant came in. He was out, you know, checking the men too. And he came back in, and if you'd listened to him, you'd have thinking that we had the same order, you know. He said, sir, we don't do that here. He said, 3 o'clock tomorrow morning, he said, all hell will break loose. And that's, you could almost set your watch at 3 o'clock in the morning, because they would unload with mortars and coming in, and you know, they hit on top of us, but there was enough dirt above us that we were okay. But the dirt would come down, the dust would come down through the roof, you know. So that's where you wanted to be, on the bottom bunk, you know. Anyhow, they told the sergeant the same thing. 3 o'clock in the morning, it happened just like he said, and just like I said. And he grabbed his clothes and he cut a chogi. That's Korean. Chogi, that means running hard.
Gotcha.
To the rear. And the field first that was there said to his assistant, he says, take him out. He stepped outside like that and shot him in the back. They said to me, he says, bag him up. KIA, killed in action.
Oh my goodness.
That's a true story.
Oh my goodness.
So is that how deserters were treated, or cowards like that?
Well, you can't have,
can't have-
he's a guy in charge. You can't have a guy like that.
Run away.
He's cutting the chogi and we're being attacked.
Wow.
Yeah. That's, I mean, I'll tell you, you become brothers. You become brothers. Yeah, you really do. You just, and you grow up in a hurry. That's when I thought I was as good as you are. See?
I bet you do grow up. Have you kept in contact with any of the people that you were?
With?
Yes.
Yeah, we buried 2 of them just this spring. I mean, this spring. Yeah, one in Mayville, and another one that that lived out in Colwood area, west of Colwood. Yeah. They become brothers.
Create some lifelong bonds right there.
They sure do. It's I don't know. I thank the Lord every morning for a new day. It's a precious gift to me. Yeah. When I get up, you know, I don't sleep well.
Well, thank you very much for
Yeah.
giving me some time. It was all really interesting.
My grandson, who's in Brian's boy, he had me come down